What is up, everybody? Liam Murphy here. Exciting news. Let me get this tweet out, actually. I just made a Twitch, so good for me doing stuff. It is Liam Murphy Live, and I'm going to share that link as well. So let's share my screen. If you, what do we want to share? This is my Twitch. Liam Murphy Live on Twitch. Head on over there, subscribe, follow, whatever you do. All right, nice. So today we're going to, or I'm going to, let me try to set this up best for everyone. Everyone's having a good day. Crocs check, no shoes. Yeah, Spartan Steve, I don't even know how you're on my Twitch. Thanks for showing up. I chose the art category because on StreamYard, the choice was like talk show and podcasts, art. So I don't know. I didn't know how to choose chess. I'll get that going later. But thanks for tuning in, Spartan Steve. What's going on? So I'm going to be doing some tactics training on chess.com, and we're going to start with some Puzzle Rush, which is just really simple free pieces. And I need to set the screen up so I can actually see it. It's like take the free pieces and get checkmates. What was the last turn here? Oh, it's white. Duh. So we're going to be training our chess here. And to do that, you need to do things called puzzles. And this is just leveling up this morning. I'm just waking up. Insert the check to deflect the king away. And that's a mate in two. Check and checkmate is a very common pattern. So we're going to do some Puzzle Rush. Then we're going to jump into some harder tactic puzzles because I'm going to try to do... What's going on here? I don't see this one. And the key when you do these puzzles is to look for the right answer, not just move. Think about here, cutting off the rook. Just take and insert this check. I don't know why the king couldn't have taken. Thanks for following, Spartan Steve. Ooh, free rook here. Good to see the whole board. Chess is kind of funny because it's I have a really big monitor, and you would think that would maybe help, but it doesn't. It makes it harder. So, chess is a game. Jesus Christ, is a game of calculation at its core. And you got to level up yourself by doing a bunch of puzzles. And the nice thing is that patterns repeat. So if you know the tactical patterns, they repeat over time. Hmm. And yeah, this is why we're starting with some puzzles today. Because blitz chess is fun, but it's not going to help me get better necessarily. So I want to start leveling up my chess again. So got to get back in the lab. All right, we only had 10 seconds there. So, whatever. Let's look at the ones we got wrong. Yeah, this one was hard. I guess I gobble up the pawns. What I was thinking is if here, if here, and you take and I go here, I'm now faster at getting here. But I guess the computer's point is yes, to go for a race is a loss, but now white doesn't need to race. They can just camp in the center or whatever. I don't have enough time probably to get this guy going and stop this guy. So good to do the puzzles you got. So here, the problem is they're threatening checkmate. Oh my god! But I have checkmate. All right. So let's jump into some regular puzzles. Chess at its core is your tactical ability. So the three things you got to do when you're trying to solve puzzles are first, you look for your checks. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 checks I'm seeing with my queen to the king. And then you got to look for your captures. So I have no captures right now, but I am noticing if I check the king and then get the queen, I might be able to capture here. If like the queen was blocked from seeing the bishop. You got to see where you are in material. So it is a position that white is up a rook. My king is not great. White has all these loose pieces, but you got to look for your checks, your captures, and your threats, basically. So let's try to calculate. And this is not something you just like guess a move on. You want to sit there, you want to calculate. Because in chess, you don't get a guess. So queen h1 is clearly the first move to look at. Queen h1. I have this bishop bearing down on this diagonal. So the only move is king e2. And then I can take the queen. The rook or the king can capture, and I can take the bishop. So that wins me a bishop. I don't know if that's enough, though, because we are down a rook, as we said. So let's keep looking. How does the check queen f5 serve us? Bishop retreats, doesn't do anything. We have another check here. Bishop blocks. So queen h1, king e2. Then let's go queen g2. And that looks like checkmate to me. So let's do that. So just a checkmate there. So you guys see where you are in the position, and you can see my tactics rating is 2,500 or whatever. And yeah, guys, don't give me any answers if you're like doing these on your own or whatever. So what sticks out to me here is the king's on the edge of the board, and I can keep him on the edge of the board with the move rook g2, and then I have this move rook h8 to checkmate. Now, rook g2, pawn g7, rook takes, and pawn g7 to stop here. So yeah, I just think that's the answer. Like they can promote, but not a lot to think at. So I was able to get that pretty quick because, again, patterns repeat. It stuck out to me that the king was on the edge of the board. I noticed I could trap him and get this check. And it was key to notice it's not enough to say, hey, I go here, then I go here. You have to think about what white could do. So you had to know after pawn g7, you can't go rook h8 because the pawn takes you and makes a queen and you lose. So you have to take, and then luckily white has nothing they can do. So, all right, well, clearly we're trying to put some pressure on the king. Real quick, we'll check the material. We are losing a material, quote unquote, but our position looks pretty good. Our king looks safe. So bishop takes knight. Seems to threaten checkmate. They are threatening to take our rook. However, that's the only piece they have. So like bishop takes knight, queen takes rook check, king g7. And if they didn't have any checks, which they do, unfortunately, they can at worst go queen e5, hitting our king. We go back, they go back, and they just keep on checking us and get a draw. So that doesn't seem right. Checking on our checks doesn't do anything. Taking with the pawn, I think, is worse because it gets this rook in the game. Rook e7 looks pretty promising because the thing that rook e7 does is it now keeps our rook safe. Our bishop is covering here, by the way. So there's no more of this like check on this diagonal if we hide our king on g7. Because basically, if we can hide our king, we have an unstoppable checkmate threat. So rook e7. Let's say queen d8. Doesn't matter. King g7. And now what do you do as white? You got to save this knight. So like knight e2. And then we just go here. And if you take, we have this pawn here. Yeah, so I like that. So rook e7. Doesn't like it. So it did want me to take with the pawn first. And it's because of this. Okay, so I got that one wrong, and I guessed the couple moves I thought it could be, if not what I said. So let's first check out what I looked at and see if this is still a winning move. Queen d8, we said. King g7. Oh, wow. h5. I didn't see this. So we're just too slow. But what if they just like save their knight? Now, even this is losing for me. So now they get the check here. Okay. What's the next move, I guess? All right, this is what I did. And why I didn't want to do this because it opens the rook. But what I didn't think about is you sack. And after bishop f8, you still have this unstoppable mate threat. And white has no checks now. So maybe move it a little quick there. Keep going, though. So this queen is pinning my knight. Can't move this knight. We at worst can take a draw, but I don't think we want to take a draw. Because we can just go back and forth here to here. And this king can just go back and forth here to here. So let's check it out. Queen d1 check, king g2. Want to get in this move, knight f4, but the queen is pinning it to our king and the pawn is attacking it too. What about this try? King f6 or king f7. Basically saying if you trade, I have 4 pawns and you have 3. And so we would be winning. I'm also going to look at to see if there's any sacks. Yeah, that's it. Check this out. Queen d1, king g2, queen takes d5, exclam. What's going on? Sacrifice the queen. And that is because you have this beautiful move, knight f4, forking the king and the rook. And you have a winning position here. The king would try to get your pawn at least, but you just have a knight. So what led me to think that was I knew if I could get rid of this pawn, I'm winning. And then it's pretty thematic to sacrifice. What's up, Chris? It's pretty thematic to sacrifice the queen for the pawn and the king only had one move after the check. So you calculate your check, queen d1 check, king g2, and then you say, okay, I sacrifice forcing the queen trade because you're hitting both. And then knight f4 is a beautiful fork. Okay, so clearly we're both trying to checkmate here. This doesn't seem right. I don't have this rank. We want to get our queen and rook working together. So let's work queen h8, king e7, queen f8. That looks right. Here, yeah, I just think this is right. Rushed it. No, okay, it wants this. And here. And here. So this one I just moved too quick. I'm going to be honest. You need to sit here and calculate this. By the way, guys, I made a Twitch. It's Liam Murphy Live. If you're just tuning in, follow or subscribe over here. How do I do chess? Let's get rid of art. Yes, boom. All right, Spartan Steve helped you out. What's up? Feel gnarly. Neil. All right, so move too quick here. Unacceptable, honestly. And you just got to get the discipline because, it's kind of cool. It tells me which ones are Twitchers and which ones are YouTubers. So yeah, this was moved way too quick. I mean, I'm going to play a chess tournament at least. I mean, this just seems easy. Yeah, there's nothing to calculate here. What? I thought a queen here, bishop here. Oh my God. Rushed it again. And then the king's forced back and then here. And the problem with the way I did it is if queen here, the queen blocks. And then bishop here, the king has this square on d8. So rushed it there, but what I was saying is I'm going to be playing a chess tournament in January at least. It's my favorite tournament of the year. It's a team tournament, and the games are like 7 hours long. So you got to be able to sit there and calculate and not move until you know the answer. All right, so things I'm noticing here is this pawn is pinned to the king. So it just looks like queen f3 and queen g2 is a checkmate in 2. King goes to h1 and checkmate. Okay. And it's good to look at the elements of a position when you solve it. Like in that past one, I noticed a pin helped me. Just verbally checking in with yourself with these things can really help you know what allowed you to get the answer. So I'm looking at queen g1 here. The king can do two things. The rook can go back to f1 to block, or the king can go to d2 because this rook is playing here. Clearly, we have issues if we don't get checkmate. So let's look first. Queen g1, king d2, queen e1, check. King d3, queen e3 would be checkmate. So we can't do that. So now let's see if we can punish rook or bishop f1. Let's just say rook. Rook f1. And I don't see anything. I'm now looking at this move, queen h4, which both threatens checkmate, hits the rook, and if the rook goes back to block, allows me to play rook d8, pinning the queen to the king. So queen h4 is a very promising threat. No answers yet, Neil. I'm on the big screen here. Now, to play this move, we have to be sure there's no big threats to our king. Yeah, I think queen h4 might be a winner. Okay, so he goes rook e6. Now I think we just sidestep to rook d8. Boom. All right, so this one was tricky because, is this what you thought it was, Neil? This one was tricky because they want you to think, oh, shit. Can I go back? No, I cannot. Anyways, I could go back on my account. But they wanted you to think that you had checkmate where really you needed to insert the threat. And finding the threat is usually the hardest. It's harder to find a threat. So this one seems kind of easy. Rook d8, king f7, queen f8, king g6, queen e8, dead end. Rook d8, king f7, rook f8, check, king g6, h4? No. So yeah, I'm drawing the arrows to help y'all out, but usually you should not do these with arrows just to help yourself calculate. So check, king here, check, king here. The one issue is I'm not seeing any checks we have if the king can get here. Hope y'all are having a great Monday. We got some Monday Night Football. An exciting divisional game. We should note that if our rook and queen leaves, we are getting checkmated. Some good old classic geometry. Now, our queen is allowed to leave because our rook still covers. So we can make a queen move, but we got to make sure that threat is key. And finding these like silent threatening moves is hard. Queen d6, threatening here. Rook e7, check, safe. Let's take a look, Michael. Not great. I know that. My first year doing drafters, though. Let's try this. Thinking about that. What about this? Yeah, this is the move. Drafters goes until week 17. So my top team is in 377th place right now, which is fine. I have a couple other teams that are 20 back from that. Let's see. It's a Josh Allen Mariota team with Saquon, Walker, White, Mostert, Warren, and CEH. So CEH gave me some early season points. Mariota's fine relief. Oh, and Foreman, who's coming on now too. And then Adams, Davis, Metcalf, Thielen, Cooper, J-Mo, Curtis Samuel, Shakir. And then where it's really getting killed is tight end, where like Albert O's a 0, Everett's good, but spotty, and Knox is getting better, turning it on. But if we look at first, so we're at 1491, so almost 1500. We're big time back on the first place teams. It's going to be really hard to compete with these Hurts Fields teams. So this one is an Eckler. Just got Mitchell back. Good for him. Pierce, Jamal. So like pretty weak at running back, but he has the Eckler anchor. And then he's, nutted enough at tight end and wide receiver in Tyreek, Amon-Ra, a lot. And obviously some teams have players still to play tonight. 14th? Nice, man. Yeah, no, I mean, I didn't have enough Miami players, and I didn't have enough Fields on drafters, and I didn't have enough I had a lot of Dalton Schultz, which I think was right and just unlucky. I mean, NFL is a crazy game, right? You have to realize that, like an injury to Tyreek happens tomorrow and the whole landscape changes. An injury to, take your pick happens tomorrow and everything changes. Some early season injuries don't happen. Like, this team seems solid, but I don't think it had running back points for a large portion of the season. In Connor, Pollard, Patterson, like, yeah, it's like it's fine at running back now, but it didn't have any. I take a peek at my high stakes stuff. High stakes going pretty fine. But yeah, to go back to this one, sometimes you just know there is something to find there. So I gotta move closer, and obviously it gets easier to see this secondary check. But basically, why this works is Queen H5. If they play G6, you take here, and they're checkmated. And what he did allowed a checkmate. So Tua teams are doing crazy, but Tua was like concussed for a little bit. So it's really just like the Tyreek. It's either like Jefferson, Kupp, or Diggs, or Kelsey. And then do you have Tyreek with them? Nick Chubb, kind of. Miami's a team. I was kind of on like autopilot this offseason, but it's a team like, I don't know, a month out. I was like, oh my God, this team could be like 13-5 or 13-4, whatever. So like I was hip that they could be very good. Because I was a believer in the coach. I did not think Tua was terrible. Obviously was a believer in the wide receivers. It's a weird one I'm thinking about here. Why can't we take Bishop's in threat? So basically, I got Miami on my late season teams, but not as much early. I'll show you guys my main event teams too. I got one or two main event teams that have hope. So we're in check here. We only have 1, 2, 3 options. 4 actually taking with the king as well. So let's calculate it. Rook takes pawn, pawn takes bishop, rook e7. King can't go to f2 because of knight f4. Yeah, so I think the key here is why we take on f7 with our rook is it allows us to double stack our rooks. Now, the only question is, do we do rook e7? Oh, shit, we can't go pawn here. Or we do rook e8. I thought if rook e7, king f2, I had this. Oh, okay, so here's how we do. We do rook e8, and we do, because if the knight goes here, the pawn is still pinned. And now we chase the king away with rook d7. And now... So now we go rook e7. The rook comes to d3, and we take. And then we have knight d3. Okay, well, he doesn't even do that, but I'll show you guys that. So the big thing to decide here was, or the big thing to notice was, you're losing this bishop, but you can win this bishop, and then you're winning because you're up a piece. But you have to realize that you want your rook on different ranks so that you can stack them up. So they take, and then rook a to e8 is essential because if they go king f2, you have knight g4 where the pawn is pinned to the king and you're double attacking the bishop. So they don't go there. They go king d, and if they do king e2, it's like pretty trivial. You just go here. But what I thought was cool is you had to calculate king d2. You check him away. He comes back. Now you go here. If he goes rook d3, I think you take on c4, hitting the rook. And if they go rook c3, Now you finally have knight d5. And they call this putting pressure on the pinned piece, where the double rooks attack the bishop, the knight hits the bishop, the knight hits the rook. So finally, they have 1-2 defenders. They can't get their third defender of the game, and you have 3 attackers. It's a pretty cool one. Yeah, that could still be a very right thesis where Miami players are super high advance rate, but bad in the playoffs, just like Tampa players were last year. Okay. So, rook e8, knight d2, rook e2, queen f8, king h7. Queen f Ooh. Queen f5, g6, king f7. It's no good. Maybe I play queen e1 first, keeping this knight pinned to the rook. So queen e1, check. King g2, rook e8. So yeah, that was right. The key thing to see here was that if you go for rook e8, white plays knight d2, getting their knight in the game and the rook in the game. And you're not in time to play rook e2, threatening checkmate, because they can do this one of many ways, but basically they can check you forever. Or maybe even checkmate you if you're greedy. So coming up, we'll do 45 minutes of tactics, and then we'll play a couple of blitz games. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, especially on my new Twitch channel, which I'll try to level up my Twitch. Okay. Tied. White is winning here. Both our queens are in danger. I'm looking at the move queen takes c3. Threatening my Twitch link. So happy you asked. Is Liam Murphy Live. Let me put that in the comments. So check that out. So I think queen takes c3 here. Looks promising. They have a check. Not worried about that check. Basically, queen takes c3. Now white needs to save their queen. And they also need to defend this bishop. And I don't see how they do both. So let's do that. So they came here. So we have rook takes e3, wins a bishop back. Chris, I'll bet on anything, my friend. I don't know anything about the World Cup, but color me intrigued. So can't go here. Rook takes, and we have a position where we're up 2 pawns, and we have a bishop versus a knight. So this is winning for black because, I don't know, save your knight. And both my rooks are going to be able to invade. And I'm up 2 pawns. It's a pretty simple one there. I'm noticing I have a check. The knight is pinned. I also have a check over here. Which seems worse because my queen already covers c8. But here I hit the rook. Yeah, I need to learn on the World Cup. So let's check it out. Bishop b5, check. King e7, loses a bishop. Bishop e5, king d8. Queen a. So yeah, this looks just too juicy. Okay, a move I did not anticipate. Oh, God. So a little bit lazy work by me here. By the way, threatening checkmate in 1. So I have like 7 moves. Can't take here. You lose. Can do this because it's a check. And if the bishop takes, my queen gets in for checkmate. So rook takes, king takes, looks forced. And then what? Queen takes bishop, check. So rook takes e5. Is there any other moves to think about? Queen a6 is an interesting try if the king had to go here. But they have this move, bishop d6. So rook takes e5 is looking like it has to be a thing. And maybe I even get away with rook takes d4 if I'm worried about checkmate. So rook takes e5, king takes, queen takes c7, king f5. Oh, and it doesn't make me solve any more than that. I invade here. Okay. So yeah, I mean, this is instinctually what I thought, but wasn't sure. Okay, so that will bring me to my tactics training for today. I think I gained 50 points or something there. Haven't done tactics for like 2-3 years, so kind of level up. Let's end the day by playing some blitz. I think I was above 2000, but then good luck, Slavako car from Serbia. think I was above 2,000, but then probably played some late night games and lost some points. D4 is definitely my weakest opening right now. So my plan is roughly to do tactics training for a month or so, just like you saw me do, like every day, and then start training my openings. If knight takes, I have this move, knight takes e4. It's either queen e7 for me or bishop g4. I'm going to do my opening training on Chessable. It's a lot of work, but it's getting needed. Bishop g4 is not a good move. Queen e7 is pretty thematic. White has this bad bishop. Knight h5. Looks pretty good here. You have to be aware of knight sacks, but doesn't look like they work because this queen. Because if the knight sacks, I could take the bishop and hit the rook. My openings are definitely a weak part of my game. It's why, oh, it takes here. Okay, so we could take, and then he takes here. But let's not give him that. Or instead, okay, so this, if he retreated, we were going to put our knight on f4. So we're down a pawn, but we're down a pawn on our terms. He has this weak pawn here that we should be able to collect. A5 is to allow our knight to come into c5 without the threat of b4 right away. Now might be a good time for queen d6. We got to get our bishop seeing the field eventually. Let's get off the same line as the rook. We need to get this bishop in the game too. This is an annoying move. Okay, now maybe we open it and put our rook on the same line as the queen. Ooh, this is free, actually. And a fork. So this should be game over. He should resign. I doubt he does, but this dude looks like Tom Dwan in his profile picture. Okay, so he wants to do this weird thing where, like, he takes me, I take him. I don't have to do that. I can just go queen c5. Let's just do this, though. A trade is fine with me because we're winning. And we have the bishop pair. I don't want to give it the bishop pair. Let's do this move first. It's a little risky. Nothing really to worry about. We got to get this bishop in the game, start rooking in the game. But we're threatening to open up lines, and we kind of want this bishop to come on this diagonal. We're a little low on time, so let's just not fart this game away. Okay. Now we're happy to do this and pick up a pawn. And he can have this if we can get his pawns. But let's not even allow it. Let's just defend. And king f8. So now if you take, I'm preventing your rook from invading. And his only move now is to push this pawn, and I should be able to corral that. Rook c8, d7. Bishop takes. So he gets this. It's a little annoying the way I let it happen, because I don't really want to lose these pawns, because a bishop can't just beat the pawns by itself. But at least I have some checks to insert. Yeah, and he's trying to trade. Let's just insert a check first. Oh my god, I lost on time. It is Tom Dwan. Fuck, so I got a little cocky there and a little too talkative. Damn, I was like a move or two away from winning. Good battle by him. Pretty terrible by me. Gotta just get back on the horse after that against Chanel Berlin. Good luck, Chanel. think she's played this kind of wrong. She doesn't have her pieces out. Let's put the clamps. So we have all the play over here. Don't really know what that is supposed to accomplish. Oh my God, why did I give this away? Oh, I didn't actually. Let's just get off the same diagonal, defend our pawn. Yeah, see, she has to do weird shit like this. Like move your bishop back, get your knight out. We're just going to try to blast open the position. Put pressure on the pin piece. You can't kick my bishop away. Let's do this and ruin our pawn structure, but make the case that let's do this check first. Bishop takes, queen takes. Queen takes. Rook f1. Bishop moves. A little too slow on that. So we've misplayed this a little bit, but we might be able to make the case that this protected pass pawn is a trump in the position for us. And we got our queen out of this pin. We might even think about pushing and then playing knight d5. Let's do that. Might lose this pawn because we're a little early, but we can cause some real chaos on the way with some checks and whatnot. Hitting here. Getting our rook in. Ooh, this looks dangerous for him. Or her. Ooh, and this queen is what we call trapped. It's a nice bounce back game by us here. My opponent just like cut her space. Looks like she needs to level up her understanding of this opening a little bit. So yeah, she should just resign here, but maybe she'll just sit. I hope she's not just being a bad sport. Thanks, man. I used to be a chess teacher in New York City, and I streamed for chesskid.com for a bit. I'm a pretty good teacher. They made a documentary on my chess team. Enjoy your day. I'm not going to play 2 anymore. I'll play until my next loss or if we reach 2,000. So while she makes us sit here, yeah, there's a lot of bad sports in chess. We'll just hit her with the GG. She's calculating. She's not calculating, Chris. Her queen is trapped and she's just wasting time. Wouldn't that be so funny if she had checkmate at 1 and I didn't notice it? It just hits me with it right here. Was she a good sport? No, she was not. So not a good game by me. 3 blunders, but we're playing Capron from Italy. This is a weird maneuver by me, but we're blasting open the center. Basically asking black, what the fuck's your plan? Yeah, so that's an annoying move. Because that is what f3 did weaken. I'm going to expect rook d8. Would like to see rook c8 instead. Now, we can't really get away with something like e3, but I think what we're going to do is we're going to be patient. We're going to play bishop e3, we're going to play bishop f2, and then we're going to play e4. One, two, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. It's got to count the attackers and defenders. I think we can blast right now. We don't need to even do anything like this. I played myself. Oh, well. Okay, so we made a blunder. But actually, there's no buts here. That was just lazy calc by me. Maybe a little fatigue by me showing from doing the puzzles earlier. So we're down in exchange, but it's not over. Because basically we're just going to try to play Fierce D, get our knight in the game. Got to keep this bishop on this diagonal. If he's going to be doing this maneuver. My bishops can defend a lot. Let's play a4 so we can park our bishop on b5 and not, if we parked it on, if we went here, he would have gone here eventually, getting rid of our pawn. If he didn't have the bishops, this is a lot easier, but now it's not as easy. But these bishops just cover so many squares. Let's do this at least. Hope he takes with the rook. He didn't. Yeah, we're just lost. Because of this pin. Well, if we don't get checkmated, which this is checkmate after here, we had ideas of moving this pawn down the board. This is checkmate. All right, I'm going to look at that one real quick and then get out of here for now. Might be back later. I don't know. Going to go work out. Going to go get some food. 94% accuracy. Some would say that's a little suspicious, maybe. I'm not saying it is, but you never know. Yeah, so here was my mistake, is I needed to build this up instead of e4 right away. I think I could have played rook e1. I still have issues, but would have been a little bit better, I think. All right, guys, that's what I got for today. Make sure you check out my Twitch. Liam Murphy Live. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Have a great day. I'll be back later. Peace.